They were digging for a gas deposit when something went wrong and a big surge of pressurized gas probably triggered the accident that caused a sinkhole under their feet and made all the drilling equipment collapse. Fortunately, there were no casualties, although the economic losses were certainly very significant. But what happened after the accident is even more incredible. To prevent the methane gas from the subsurface from spreading into the environment, geologists and engineers made the decision to set it on fire, so that it would run out in a short time. Too bad that from that day in 1971, the fire has never stopped burning. That is, it has been burning continuously day and night for 50 years. Well, I'm talking about the gates of hell. A very suggestive name given to this crater located in the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan. Here it is known as Darvaza, a word that comes from Persian, meaning gate, door. Visually, it's crazy. Imagine seeing a 70-meter diameter fiery pit in the middle of the desert. Absurd. But what really happened? And how is it possible that it continues to burn after all this time? You need to know that the process of extracting hydrocarbons, that is, oil and methane, is essentially a fundamental part represented by the preliminary study of the extraction site. So the study that is done upstream is very specific studies of geology, geophysics, petrophysics, and so on that cost millions and millions of euros. Money that oil companies want to spend to minimize the risk of finding nothing. Why? Because if you drill and find nothing, this is a huge economic loss even for an oil multinational, so it's better to spend a little more at the beginning to reduce the risk. So, in the case of Darvaza, it looks like the site chosen for drilling probably wasn't analyzed properly, partly due to negligence and partly because the technologies available at the time weren't the same as today's. The Soviets didn't do their calculations well, clearly, and when the drilling reached a certain depth, there was probably a very violent gas leak, which caused the surface to collapse. Anyway, these are incidents that, with the advancement of geological and geophysical knowledge and the evolution of technology, are happening less and less, because the entire drilling system has 12,304 safety systems against pressure buildup. Soviet newspapers of the time didn't report any casualties in the incident, but to prevent toxic gas from causing casualties among the residents of nearby villages, who were still quite far away, a decision had to be made quickly. So it was decided to burn the gas to exhaust it as quickly as possible, because methane is a much more potent greenhouse gas than CO2, and it is therefore better to burn it, generating CO2 and causing less damage. However, the problem is that a gas deposit like this can be big enough to feed the flames for 50 years, as has actually happened and is happening and perhaps for the next centuries. But at the same time, you may wonder why no company is going there to extract this methane gas? Because it is evidently not economically viable. A well that has been burning for 50 years can still be considered small for an oil company and therefore not commercially attractive. I know, it's as sad as it is simple. The fact that the flames are scattered here and there is explained by the presence of fractures in the rock, fractures branching out in different directions. And that's why the fire doesn't escape from a single hole, but from many points that make a barbecue-like effect if we want. Think that the brightness generated by the crater is even visible at night, of course from kilometers and kilometers away, which made the door to hell become one of the most visited tourist destinations in Turkmenistan, fueling several legends among the local population. How long will it burn? Who can say? But for about 10 years now, the government of Turkmenistan has been working to find a way to close the crater or at least adopt measures that limit the gas loss. The problem is that it will cost an exorbitant amount. The main reason why a solution has not yet been found. So who knows if there will be any news. I hope you liked this video. See you always here on Learn and Share. Knowledge for everyone. See you soon.